हेलो दोस्तों, वेलकम टू द साइनिंग ब्रेन। आज हम एनसीईआरटी क्लास 7 का चैप्टर नंबर 2 पढ़ने जा रहे हैं। चैप्टर का नाम है न्यूट्रिशन इन एनिमल्स। You have learned in chapter 1 that plants can prepare their own food by the process of photosynthesis, but animals cannot. Animals get their food from plants either directly by eating plants or indirectly by eating animals that eats plants. Some animals eat both plants and animals. Recall that all organisms, including human, require food for growth, repair, and functioning of the body. Animal nutrition includes nutrients requirement, mode of intake of food, and its utilization in the body. You have studied in class 6 of the food consists of many components. Try to recall and list them below. The components of food such as carbohydrate are complex substances. These complex substances cannot be utilized as such, so they are broken down into simpler substances. The breakdown of complex component of food into simpler substance is called digestion. I am repeating, the breakdown of complex substance food into simpler substances is called digestion. 2.1 Different way of taking food. The mode of taking food into the body varies in different organisms. Bees and hummingbirds suck the nectar of plants. Infants of human and many other animals feed on mother's milk. Snakes like the python swallow the animals they prey upon. Some aquatic animals filter teeny food particles floating nearby and feed upon them. Activity 2.1 What is the type of food and mode of feeding of the following animals? Write down your observation in the given table. You may find the list of mode of feeding given below the table helpful. यहाँ टेबल 2.1 वेरियस मोड ऑफ फीडिंग। एक छोटे से बॉक्स में इमेजिन फैक्ट्स दिया हुआ है। Starfish feed on animals covered by hard shell of calcium carbonate. After opening the shell, the starfish pop out its stomach through its mouth to eat the soft animal inside the shell. The stomach then goes back into the body and the food is slowly digested. 2.2 Digestion in humans. We take in food through mouth, digest and utilize it. The unused part of the food are defecated. Have you ever wondered what happened to the food inside the body? The food passes through a continuous canal. Figure 2.2 Human digestive system. Which begins at the buccal cavity and ends at the anus. The canals can be divided into various compartments. First, the buccal cavity. Second, food pipe or esophagus. Third, stomach. Four, small intestine. Five, large intestine, ending in the rectum. And six, the anus. It is not a very long path. This part together form a alimentary canal digestive tract. The food component gradually get digested as food travel through the various compartment. The inner wall of the stomach and the small intestine and the various glands associated with the canal such as salivary gland, the liver and the pancreas secreted digestive juices. The digestive juices convert complex substance of food into a simpler one. The digestive tract and the associated glands together constitute the digestive system. Now let us know what happened to the food in different part of digestive tract. The mouth and buccal cavity. The food is taken into the body through the mouth. The process of taking food into the body is called ingestion. We chew the food with the teeth and break it down mechanically into small pieces. Each tooth is rooted in a separate socket in the gums. Figure 2.3. Here figure 2.3 arrangement of teeth and different type of teeth. Our teeth vary in appearance and perform different functions. Accordingly, they are given different names. Figure 2.3. Activity 2.2. Wash your hand, look into the mirror and count your teeth. Use your finger to feel the teeth. How many kinds of teeth could you find? Take a piece of an apple or bread and eat it. Which teeth do you use for biting and cutting, and which one for piercing and tearing? Also find out the ones that are used for chewing and grinding. Record the observation in table 2.2. Cutting and biting teeth, piercing and tearing teeth, chewing and grinding teeth. Our mouth has the salivary gland which secreted saliva. Do you know the action of saliva of food? Let us find out. यहाँ फिगर 2.3 में 4 टाइप ऑफ टिप्स को शो किया गया है. एक मोलर, प्री मोलर, कैनाइन्स एंड इंसीजर. Activity 2.3. Take two test tubes, label them A and B. In the test tube A, put 1 teaspoonful of boiled rice. In test tube B, keep 1 teaspoonful of boiled rice. After chewing it for 3 to 5 minutes, add 3 to 4 ml of water in both the test tube. Figure 2.4. Now pour 2 to 3 drops of iodine solution in each test tube and observe. Why is there a change in color in the test tube? Discuss the result with your classmate and your teacher. The saliva break down the starch into sugar. The tongue is a fleshy muscular organ attached at the back to the floor of the vocal cavity. It is free at the front and can be moved in all directions. Do you know the function of the tongue? We use our tongue for talking, beside it mixing saliva with the food during chewing and help in swallowing food. We also taste food with our tongue. It has taste buds that detect different taste of food. We can find out the position of the taste bud by following activity. यहाँ एक बॉक्स में कुछ जानकारी दी गई है, आइए उसे जानते हैं. स्वीट एंड tooth decay. Normally, bacteria are present in our mouth, but they are not harmful to us. However, if we do not clean our teeth and mouth after eating, many harmful bacteria also begin to live and grow in it. These bacteria break down the sugars present from the leftover food and release acid. The acid gradually damages the teeth. This is called tooth decay. If it is not treated in time, it causes severe toothache and in extreme cases result in tooth loss. Chocolate, sweet, soft drink and other sugar products are the major culprit of the tooth decay. Therefore, one should clean the teeth with a brush or datoon and dental floss. A special strong thread which is moved between two teeth to take out trapped food particles at least twice a day and rinse the mouth after every meal. Also, one should not put dirty finger or any unwashed object in the mouth. Sometimes when you eat in a hurry, talk or laugh while eating, you may cough, get hiccups or a choking sensation. This happens when food particles enter the windpipe. The windpipe carries air from the nostril to the lungs. It runs adjacent to the food pipe. But inside the throat, air and food share a common passage. Then, how is food prevented from entering the windpipe? During the act of swallowing, a flap-like valve closes the passage of windpipe and guide the food into the food pipe. If by chance food particle enter the windpipe, we feel choked, get hiccups or cough. Activity 2.4. Prepare a separate simple each sample each of sugar solution, second common salt solution, third lemon juice, fourth juice of crushed neem leaf or bitter gourd. Second, blindfold one of your classmates and ask her or him to take out the tongue and keep it in a straight and flat position. Use a clean toothpick to put the above sample one by one on different areas of the tongue as shown in figure 2.6. Use a new toothpick for each sample. Ask the classmate which area of the tongue could detect the sweet, salty, sour, and bitter substance. 5. Now write down your observation and labels in figure 2.6. Repeat this activity with other classmates. The food pipe, esophagus. The swallowed food passes into the food pipe or esophagus. Look at the figure 2.2. The food pipe run along the neck and the chest. Food is pushed down by the movement of the wall of the food pipe. Actually, this movement takes place throughout the alimentary canal and pushes the food downward. At times, the food is not accepted by our stomach and is vomited out. Recall the instance when you vomited after eating and think of the reason for it. Discuss with your parents and teacher. The stomach. The stomach is a thick walled bag. Its shape is like a flattened J and it is the widest part of the alimentary canal. It received it receives food from the food pipe at one end and open it into the a small intestine at the other end. The inner lining of the stomach secretes mucus, hydrochloric acid, and digestive juice. The mucus protects the lining of the stomach. The acid kills many bacteria that enter along with the food and make the medium in the stomach acidic and help in digestive juice to act. The digestive juice break down the proteins into simpler substance. Small intestine. The small intestine is highly coiled and is about 7.5 meter long. It receives secretion from the liver and the pancreas. Besides, wall also secretes juice. The liver is a reddish brown gland situated in the upper part of the abdomen on the right side. It is the largest gland in the body. It secretes bile juice that is stored in a sac called the gallbladder. The bile plays an important role in the digestion of fats. The pancreas is a large cream colored gland located just below the stomach. The pancreatic juice acts on carbohydrate, fat, and proteins and changes them into simpler form. The working of a stomach was discovered by a strange accident. In 1822, a man named Alexis Saint Martin was badly hit by a shotgun. The bullet had seriously damaged the chest wall and made a hole in the stomach. He was brought to an American Army doctor, William Beaumont. The doctor saved the patient, but he could not close the hole properly and left it bandaged. Beaumont took it as a great opportunity to see inside of the stomach through the hole. He made some wonderful observation. Beaumont found that stomach was churning food. Its wall secreted a fluid which could digest the food. He also observed that the end of the stomach opened into the intestine only after the digestion of the food inside the stomach is completed. The partly digested food now reaches the lower part of the small intestine, where the intestinal juice complete the digestion of all components of the food. The carbohydrate gets broken into simple sugar such as glucose, fats, sugars such as glucose, fats into fatty acid, and glycerol, and protein into amino acid. Absorption in the small intestine. The digestive food can now pass into the blood vessels in the wall of the absorption intestine. This process is called absorption. The inner wall of a small intestine have thousands of finger-like outgrowth. These are called villi, singular villus. Can you guess what the role of villi could be in the intestine? The villi increases the surface area of the absorption of the digested food. Each villus has a network of thin and small blood vessels close to its surface. The surface of the villi absorbs the digested food materials. The absorbed substance are transported via the blood vessels to different organs of the body where they are used to build complex substance protein required such as the proteins required by the body. This is called assimilation. In the cells, glucose break down with the help of oxygen into carbon dioxide and water, and energy is released. The food that remains undigested and unabsorbed enter into the large intestine. The large intestine is wider and shorter than a small intestine. It is about 1.5 meter in length. Its function is to absorb water and some salts from the undigested food material. The remaining waste passes into the rectum and remains there as semi-solid feces. The fecal matter is removed through the anus from time to time. This is called egestion. 2.3 Digestion in grass eating animal. Have you observed cow, buffalo, and other grass eating animals chewing continuously even when they are not eating? Actually, they quickly swallow the grass and store it in a part of the stomach called rumen. Here, the food gets partially digested and is called curd, but later the curd returns to the mouth in small lumps and the animal chew it. This process is called rumination, and these animals are called ruminants. The grass is rich in cellulose, a type of carbohydrate. In ruminants like cattle, deer, etc., bacteria present in rumen help in digestion of cellulose. Many animals, including humans, cannot digest cellulose. Animals like horses, rabbit, etc. have a large sac-like structure called cecum between the esophagus and the small intestine. Figure 2.9. The cellulose of the food is digested here by the action of the certain bacteria where which are not present in the humans. So far you have learned about animals which possess the digestive system, but there are many small organisms which do not have a mouth and digestive system. Then how do they acquire and digest food? In this section below you will learn another interesting way of food intake, feeding and digestion in amoeba. Amoeba is a microscopic single cell organism found in pond water. Amoeba has a cell membrane, a rounded dense nucleus, and many small bubble like vacuoles in its cytoplasm. Amoeba constantly changes its shapes and position. It pushes out one or more fingers like projection called pseudopodia or false feet of for movement and capture of food. Amoeba feed on some microscopic organism. When it senses food, it pushes out pseudopodia around the food particle and engulfs it. The food becomes trapped in a food vacuoles. Digestive juices are secreted in the food vacuoles. They act on the food and break it down into simpler substance. Gradually, the digested food is absorbed. The absorbed substances are used for growth, maintenance, and multiplication. The undigested residue of the food is expelled outside by the vacuoles. The basic process of digestion of the food and release of energy is the same in all animals. In a later chapter, you will learn about the transport of the food absorbed by the intestine to the various parts of body. Here some keyword is given: absorption, amino acid, amoeba, assimilation, bile, buccal cavity, canines, cellulose, digestion, egestion, fatty acid, food vacuoles, gallbladder, glycerol, incisor, ingestion, liver, milk teeth, molar, premolar teeth, esophagus, pancreas, premolar, pseudopodia, rumen, ruminants, rumination, salivary gland, villi, saliva. दिस इज़ द एंड ऑफ द चैप्टर नंबर 2. मिलते हैं अगले नेक्स्ट वीडियो में चैप्टर नंबर 3 में. सो थैंक यू.